In this podcast episode, renowned Stanford professor Garry Nolan shares his insights on unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, alleged alien biological material, and mysterious brain injuries linked to potential exposure to unknown technologies. Nolan, a foremost immunologist and inventor, discusses his scientific approach to examining purported extraterrestrial specimens, his work analyzing anomalous brain damage seen in affected individuals, including government personnel, and the broader implications of these phenomena on science and society. He also opens up about his personal experiences and the founding of the Soul Foundation, an organization dedicated to rigorous multidisciplinary UAP research. Nolan recounts how, intrigued by claims of a preserved tiny corpse resembling an alien, characterized by a slightly triangular head and large eyes, he took the specimen for expert analysis. Collaborating with Stanford's neonatal and pediatric bone disorder specialists, they found no known syndrome that could explain the morphology. Initial DNA analysis revealed anomalous genetic sequences, but ultimately confirmed the specimen as a human female, likely a preterm birth from Chile, born within the last few decades rather than centuries old. Nolan emphasizes the scientific rigor in ruling out sensational conclusions, underlining that while the data showed unusual traits, it did not prove extraterrestrial origin. Garry Nolan provides an overview of his advanced research background, combining genetics, immunology, and cellular signaling to understand complex biological systems. He details the development of the innovative single-cell analysis platform, SciTAF, which uses metal isotope tagging and mass spectrometry to profile immune cells in extraordinary detail. This breakthrough enabled unprecedented immune system mapping and contributed to projects like the Human Cell Atlas and Cancer Cell Atlases. Nolan's interdisciplinary approach integrates computational algorithms and novel instrumentation, demonstrating the depth of technology necessary to analyze biological samples with precision, foundations crucial for his work with anomalous materials and health phenomena. Nolan discusses his continued role as a go-to scientist for examining materials claimed to be from UAPs or alien craft. He describes detailed isotope ratio testing of metals such as nearly pure silicon and magnesium alloys from various events, including the Ubatuba and Council Bluffs incidents. Intriguing isotope shifts suggest exposure to neutron radiation of extreme magnitude, conditions far beyond known terrestrial manufacturing. However, Nolan stresses that these findings are raw data without definitive interpretations, cautioning against jumping to conclusions and emphasizing that such anomalies require further study within a strict scientific framework. In a surprising account, Nolan reveals how CIA representatives unexpectedly approached him with medical imaging from intelligence officers experiencing severe, puzzling brain injuries. The damages manifested as white matter disease, with areas of neural frying correlated with neurological symptoms like confusion and cognitive impairment. Nolan and his team systematically assessed these individuals, some of whom reported interactions with UAPs. The cumulative evidence suggested the involvement of directed energy weapons, non-lethal but penetrating forms of energy capable of causing brain damage, unlike traditional weaponry. Despite official skepticism and classified pushback, Nolan's group developed diagnostic frameworks to classify and study these anomalous health incidents scientifically. Nolan contextualizes these brain injuries within the broader phenomenon termed Havana syndrome, initially recognized after diplomatic personnel in Cuba reported unexplained neurological symptoms. He describes collaborating with neurophysiologists and psychiatrists to comprehensively phenotype affected individuals and align their symptoms with ICD diagnostic codes. This process legitimized the condition as a recognizable syndrome of interference rather than psychosomatic illness alone, countering earlier dismissals. Nolan highlights ongoing challenges in distinguishing genuine neurobiological damage from psychological trauma, and underscores the practical importance of scientific objectivity amid politicized narratives. Reflecting on how UAPs reportedly disabled military helicopters and deactivated missile launches, Nolan admits the actual mechanisms remain unknown, but speculates about sophisticated electromagnetic or quantum phenomena operating beyond current human understanding. He imagines a physics where entities or technologies can remotely interface with electronic and neurological systems, at a profound level. While these ideas float between hypothesis and science fiction, his perspective encourages open yet critical exploration without bias. Nolan's primary focus remains on acquiring reproducible data and material evidence to move from conjecture to verifiable science. For the first time publicly, Nolan shares brief but vivid memories from his childhood around 1967, when he saw little guys in his bedroom and experienced sleep paralysis-like episodes. While initially interpreting them as dreams, he later identified the images through science fiction literature and the work of psychiatrist John Mack, realizing these archetypes resonate across many alien encounter reports. He relates another early experience, witnessing a large, silent, lighted object passing low over trees. These personal stories inform his empathetic approach when listening to others' extraordinary claims, reinforcing his balance of scientific skepticism and openness. Feeling the need for a serious, science-based forum amid sensationalized UFO conferences, Nolan co-founded the Soul Foundation to create an academic perimeter for multidisciplinary discussion and research into UAPs. The foundation brings together experts from government, academia, and various fields to study materials, health effects, and cultural implications with rigor and respect. Nolan stresses the importance of clear scientific standards, discouraging dogma, and debunking rhetoric that often hampers progress. The Soul Foundation aims to elevate discourse beyond belief or dismissal toward data-driven inquiry. Nolan critiques the SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, approach for focusing on distant, untestable hypotheses, advocating instead for rigorous investigation of local phenomena and their biological or technological footprints. He suggests that if extraterrestrial intelligence visits Earth, it may employ intermediaries or AI-like avatars rather than physical beings due to the risks posed by primitive human societies. This parallels speculative zoo hypotheses, where humanity is observed as part of a larger cosmic experiment or evolutionary process. Nolan emphasizes patience and scale, noting that any advanced civilization witnessing Earth would likely span millions of years, and view human development accordingly. Asked about potential threats from adversarial forces, whether terrestrial or extraterrestrial, Nolan offers a cautiously optimistic view. He does not perceive immediate existential dangers, pointing out that any advanced society would not need Earth's resources urgently, and that cosmic catastrophes like asteroid impacts pose far greater risk. Nolan advocates focusing on ecological stewardship of our planet and scientific advancement rather than fear of invasion or doom scenarios. He encourages curiosity balanced with practical preparation, emphasizing that our understanding remains in its infancy. Throughout the conversation, Nolan underscores the delicate balance between belief, hope, and evidence. He advocates for treating extraordinary claims with skepticism grounded in scientific method, yet without dismissiveness. His work exemplifies this by treating anomalous materials and health effects as real data to be analyzed irrespective of source. Nolan also recognizes varied human experiences and seeks to integrate emotional and psychological dimensions alongside physical findings, bridging gaps often ignored in conventional research. In exploring the neurological profiles of individuals affected by or involved in UAP and anomalous health investigations, Nolan highlights the importance of brain regions like the caudate and putamen in processing intuition and complex decision-making. He reports findings of increased neural density in these areas among high-functioning individuals in intelligence and diplomatic communities. These brain features correlate with creativity, focus, and an enhanced ability to synthesize disparate information rapidly, qualities vital for navigating uncertain and potentially hostile environments. These insights suggest biological differences may influence susceptibility or roles in these extraordinary encounters. Nolan elaborates on his approach to analyzing purported alien technology by relying on advanced instrumentation like atomic probe tomography and mass spectrometry. By precisely measuring elemental and isotopic compositions and examining microscopic layering and structural features, he seeks to identify manufacturing techniques or isotopic anomalies inconsistent with terrestrial processes. While no conclusive smoking gun has emerged, such data raise intriguing questions about the origin and nature of some materials. Nolan remains firm that reproducibility and transparency in data collection are essential to progress. Addressing the polarized landscape of UFO and UAP discussions, Nolan criticizes certain outspoken skeptics who rely on debunking by dismissal or selective logic rather than engaging with evidence holistically. He stresses that skepticism must be scientific, not ideological or performative, and warns against rhetorical traps that stifle genuine inquiry. Nolan encourages serious researchers to maintain rigor, avoid dogmatism, and foster respectful debate free from sensationalism or preconceived conclusions. Nolan briefly touches on philosophical and experiential dimensions related to consciousness, intuition, and expanded perception. While he himself does not claim particular intuitive or energetic abilities, he acknowledges that some people report accessing information beyond ordinary senses, which may be comparable to psychological or neurobiological phenomena. These considerations invite broader interdisciplinary exploration of human cognition and its role in interpreting or interacting with anomalous phenomena. The episode also spotlights Nolan's collaborations with anthropologists, statisticians, computer scientists, and government agencies to advance comprehensive studies on UAPs and related health issues. His work demonstrates the necessity of combining expertise across traditional academic boundaries, integrating computational modeling, biological sampling, clinical evaluation, and advanced instrumentation. Through organizations like the Soul Foundation and projects connected to legislative bodies, Nolan contributes to legitimizing and institutionalizing research on these enigmatic subjects.